Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today is a rather dark day outside and I don't feel like the most creative person today anyway. So I thought why not use that opportunity, not feeling like making music is a thing today, to quickly talk about a topic I had in my mind, and that's game changer. When I think about game changer, I think about those clickbaity YouTube thumbnails and video titles. And for the most part, I think the word game changer is just used totally wrong. Whenever someone comes up with a new tube screamer, there's someone who makes the title, "That tube screamer changes everything." And no, it doesn't. I mean, maybe it does for some people, but for the majority, that really adds nothing new to the scene. And when I think about game changer, for me, a new piece of gear, if I call it a game changer, has to add something new to the process. And maybe it sparks some inspiration, maybe it speeds up your workflow, or it makes you think differently about music and approaching certain sounds, maybe in another way. The first pedal that I think about when I have a look at my pedal board is just the Electric Harmonix 22500 looper. And that was a game changer for me, but not because it's that pedal in particular. I think a Boss looper would have done similar things, or getting the Boomerang looper. For me, it was just having two tracks instead of one. And that just enabled me to loop differently and try different things. For example, when I have the first loop running, the second one can be a multiple of the length of the first loop. It can be double the length, it can be 4 times as long, or even 8 times as long. And back then when I used the RC1 looper, which is just a one-track looper from Boss, I was just recording a loop, fiddling around with it, and when I had the idea, okay, I would like to record some more regard to the length to the second loop, to the second layer, then that wouldn't be possible. And the 22500 enabled me to do that, and that just changed a lot for me. So today it's just I need a 2-track looper for most of the time, and the option to just decide the length of the second loop just on the fly became really an essential thing for me when using looper. The second pedal was mood. And the first time I got myself mood, I just used it for 3 days and set it back. But during that time I did some test recordings and listened back to those few weeks later. I really was surprised by the sounds that I've recorded then. And I thought, okay, diving deeper into a pedal like mood and having the knowledge about its workings and being able to recreate those sounds, that would be just great. So I got myself mood again and just starting to dive deeper, and that one did a lot for me. And again, it's not really its mood in particular. I mean, for me, it's about the interactions with mood. And it was the first pedal where I started to just manipulate sounds. Before that, I was just twisting some knobs, setting some settings, then I just played, and whenever I felt like, okay, I want to change something, then I changed something and played again. And with mood, it's just I record something, maybe a drone or a micro loop, and when I want to transfer that into my looper, then I just start record on the looper, and then I just start to manipulate what mood does. And that was a thing that I never did before, and now mood has become a centerpiece on my rig. And I don't think that it has to be mood. I think some Red Panda pedals are similar, or you can get yourself the Counter 5 pedal, and those are in a similar ballpark, I think. But for me, yeah, that one did a lot for me learning soundscapes, and made it so easy for me. But on the other hand, I just had to relearn my approach to music and to looping, and that was, yes, something that just happened because I got myself a new pedal, which worked totally different than everything I had before. The third pedal, which really changed a lot for me, was the Microcosm, and still is the Microcosm. And it's not because it's the Microcosm itself, but I have to say it's really a great pedal. And there's a reason it's all over YouTube and so many people are using it still. But anyway, the thing with the Microcosm was getting that pedal. It took me a while just to hit purchase because it's an expensive pedal. And before that, I mean, I already had some pedals, I had some amps, guitars, and it was just, I mean, it's still a hobby for me. But it doesn't had so much weight in my life. And when I got myself the Microcosm, then I decided getting that pedal means that I will dive deeper into music than I did before, and that I decided that music has to take up far more space in my life, and that I want playing the guitar being an essential part and something that really speaks for me. So that's another thing that changed how I viewed music and how I approached making music, and not because the Microcosm itself, but because of the decision behind that. And then I made the decision to care more about myself and music as a creative outlet. That's for the Microcosm. And the fourth pedal would be the Walrus ACS1. And that's really another thing. Whenever I look at YouTube, it's back then Iridium is the new benchmark, or oh, the ACS1 set new standards, and then it was just, oh, the Tonex is the hottest thing right now, or whatever else, the Kemper. And to a certain degree, I know what the people are just making that statements, or just are after, or the people why are using that clickbaity titles. But for me, the ACS1 changed a lot, but not because of the ACS1 itself, but because it's an amp sim pedal. And before that, when I first started, I was just using amps, and really miking up amps was never an option in here. So I tried Guitar Rig, and I think I started with Guitar Rig 3, and I think I have Guitar Rig 5 or 6 now. And I was using those amps and the inbuilt effects to make music. And one day, it clicked, and I thought, oh, why not running the pedal board right into my interface and using the pedals on my board, but the amps inside Guitar Rig? That was years ago, but that changed a lot. And since then, amps were nothing more than just a platform to serve my pedals. And I started to use some high watt amps inside Guitar Rig, or Vox, Fender, Marshall, whatever. And when I found an amp that I really liked, I couldn't help myself but building presets over presets over presets. Then I just started to experiment with the amp pads, with the dialing of the knobs, with the caps. And when I thought, okay, I would try something else, I got rid of the inbuilt caps and used IRs. And when I was sick of IRs, I got myself the Soft Tube speaker shaper plugin, which gives you all Celestion speakers, and you can build 8x10 caps with selection vintage 30s if you like it. But that was just option paralysis, really. And I don't know why, but having just a clean Vox amp as a pedal platform, I had 15 presets for a clean Vox sound. And when I got myself the ACS1 and I tried it, it has no menus to deep dive. So I just didn't change the settings as much as I did before with Guitar Rig. And that just makes things far easier. When I loaded in some of my own IRs, I just realized it sounds good as it is, and there's just no need to tweak everything. And when the ACS1 would have had presets, then I swear I would have tons of presets in there. And that, as I said, that was the game-changing part in getting the ACS1. Not because it's the ACS1 and it's better than Iridium, better than the Kemper, better than Tonix or anything. It's just, it freed me from fiddling around with amp settings. And since then I just care more about how I dial in certain pedals and how I mix everything afterwards. But the ACS1, or my amps in this case, is the thing I don't think about that much. Sometimes I just add some more mids, play with the highs or play with the lows, but that's it. And I don't change caps, I don't change the amp model. It's just, for 99%, I just use the same settings as I always do. And yeah, that's the thing what Game Changer really means for me. And as I said in the beginning, reading That's a Game Changer all over YouTube for everything that's new, I hate it. I'm just so sick of it. And YouTube is a place that I really like. But sometimes when all of those clickbaity things just feel like it's too much for me. Yeah, sometimes it feels like too much. And when everything is fighting for my attention, I just want to close everything and get in bed for 1 or 2 hours. Yeah, but that's not what it's all about. So yeah, that was a video about Game Changers. And it would be interesting for me to read what Game Changers are for you in particular, maybe what it means, or what's the piece of gear in particular that did really change something for you. So feel free to write that down in the comments, and I'm really curious to read about that. And that's it for now, and see you in the next video.